yourselves for a battle of epic proportions between two titans. Feast upon their voices and revel in their words. This is Dueling Ogres.
Hello, Ogres, and welcome to episode 13. Thank you for joining us, as always, on this fashionably late Saturday afternoon, Earth Day, August 2nd, 2014. I'm your host, Remington Hitchcock, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Brandon Full. Say hello, Brandon.
I hope someday you're able to get through the intro without stumbling on the dates, or the month, or the word fashionably.
I didn't stutter on
You said fashionable.
Well, I'm drunk.
Well, yeah.
Because you wanted to do it on Saturday instead of Wednesday, and Saturday is my drunk day.
Saturday's your drinking day.
Saturday is I get off at 2 o'clock, and then I drink until I can't feel feelings anymore.
You're the most non-feeling person I think I know.
I feel.
Well, yeah, I mean the most, even keel
right
feeling. You just crush it all down inside of you.
I am the Vulcan of our friends.
Yeah, exactly.
I have no emotion.
Well, Vulcans typically work out, though, don't they?
Are you calling me fat?
That was a little cold. As I drink Code Red Mountain Dew.
Yeah. I'm drinking water.
That's true.
Because I have no soda to drink.
Yeah, exactly.
I am out.
I would have brought you one. I didn't know.
I didn't know either, so. Today we're going to discuss a little bit of the news coming out of the San Diego Comicon.
Yeah, because we're actually the only place you can get San Diego Comicon news. We know a guy. There's nowhere else on the internet. No podcasts that talk about it.
No
YouTube videos.
And it will be so lightly covered that it'll be like we weren't even there.
Yeah, it's like when you're at Olive Garden and they're putting the cheese on and they just start to spin it and you're like, that's good. You get 3 little Parmesan flakes. That's going to be our coverage of San Diego Comic-Con.
Right, yeah. Because we didn't go.
No.
Because we're across the country.
Next year, though. Well, next year we're going to get paid to go to San Diego Comic-Con as professional journalists.
Right.
So.
That's what's going to happen.
That's the goal.
That would be awesome.
That would be really cool.
I don't think it'll happen, but it would be awesome.
No, it absolutely won't happen, but that would be cool.
Can you imagine us blowing up so much that we'd be able to utilize the funds that would come from this to do that?
Well, because the idea would be you would get a journalist thing.
Right, journalist pass.
Yeah, and you could go on that. So at least you wouldn't have to pay the fees to get in.
Right.
Because it's expensive, isn't it? It's like hundreds of dollars to get in for the 3 days or 5 days it is.
I think so, yeah. Plus we'd have to have plane tickets and...
Well, no, we'd drive.
I'm not fucking driving 4.5 days to San Diego.
Renting a Winnebago and driving there, that would be awesome. We could have crazy misadventures, pick up a hitchhiker along the way, stay in a haunted motel.
Haunted motel.
That would be awesome.
Ooh. I don't know. I kind of want to fly just because I've never flown before.
You've never flown before?
I've never flown before.
Really?
Yep.
Have you just never traveled that far?
No. I don't think I've been west of the Mississippi.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
I've flown a few times. I didn't like it.
Oh, yeah?
Not a fan, yeah. I went to New Orleans last year.
Well, yeah, that's true.
And I don't know. I hated it. I flew when I was younger and it was fine, but flying to New Orleans last year was just... did not like it. And I was only on the plane for a cumulative 2 hours each way.
So, for 2 hours, you were completely miserable.
Yeah, pretty much.
Being in this plane.
I mean, my headphones only worked out of one. I sat towards the tail of the plane so I could hear the engine the whole time, so I couldn't even hear my headphones.
Yeah.
Bree immediately fell asleep, so I'm sitting there by myself like, oh, fuck. So, yeah.
You were lonely with half a headphone.
Yeah, with half a head limping along like Tiny Tim.
God bless us, everyone. So, yeah, just peter
Complete
out.
Silence.
We'll peter out in the beginning, and maybe we'll finish strong this time.
Yeah, we'll see.
We won't.
No.
Don't look forward to that.
No, I don't think they look forward to anything.
What did you do this week?
This week I've been playing a mod pack for Minecraft on the computer. And a mod pack is what it sounds like. It's a bunch of mods in one. So you install the mod pack, and it puts all of the mods for you, so you don't have to do each one individually.
Okay.
And it's awesome. It's called Crazy Craft.
Okay.
And it has 60 separate mods on it. So the one I've been using predominantly is like a witchcraft mod, which adds like 30 new plants that you collect, like belladonna, nightshade. You make like an altar that you have to draw power from nature and stuff. So it's cool because you have this witchcraft mod with magic. Then among that, through other mods, you can also fly up to asteroids that hang above the Earth and like mine star cores.
Oh, neat.
You can make the dubstep gun from Saints Row.
Okay.
There's, I think, 6 separate dimensions you can travel to. Added in. You can also go into space if you make a spacesuit and a rocket. You can go to Mars and the moon.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a bunch of different mods crammed into one. And it's a blast.
That does sound fun. I mean, there are points at which I kind of wish that I played Minecraft, but, you know, it's still just not something I'm going to find myself getting into.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't played it by this point with as much as I've talked about it, you probably won't.
Yeah.
But
I have fun dicking around in there every once in a while when I come over.
Well, there's like a major thing added.
This is for Xbox? Or
no, this is computer. You can't get mods for the Xbox.
Right.
There's a thing added in where anytime you kill a monster or animal, the first time you kill it, you turn into it.
Okay.
And then it's like saved in a queue so you can switch between stuff. So once you kill a cow, you can turn into a cow. Okay. There's really no reason to turn into a cow, but it's funny.
Right.
But like they added birds. You kill a bird, now you can fly.
Okay.
You kill a squid. Now, if you jump in the water and turn into a squid, you can breathe underwater and you don't have to worry about drowning.
Right. Okay.
Stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun. I would recommend checking it out. I'll put a link to it on our Facebook page in case anybody wants to check it out. It's all free. Obviously, all the mod packs are.
Right. I'm sure people who play Minecraft are already well aware of it and put it up.
Yeah, well, there's so many different mods. I mean, I was playing Pixelmon for a while that adds Pokemon in where you can catch them. That was a lot of fun.
Right.
Also playing Duels of the Planeswalkers, the new Magic game for Xbox. I don't know, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of people complaining about it online right now because they added in, it's kind of a pay for play thing.
Okay.
Where it's $10 for the main set. You choose a 2-color deck when you start, and then as you play, you unlock booster packs to like add to your deck to make it better. And then you can pay $1.99 to get a premium booster pack that has cards you can't get anywhere else. So a lot of people are pissed off about that. I can kind of understand it a little bit. Because you go online, there's a big multiplayer aspect to it. If you only have $10 for the main game, if you play somebody who's decent at Magic, and they have bought the premium packs, they just have better cards than you.
So there's no real fairness involved in, like, if you've got the money to buy the extra packs, you just...
Yeah, well, and it sucks because the packs are totally random. You're paying $2 and you're just getting totally random shit.
Right.
I've bought a few packs, not a whole lot because I don't really want to drop, $2. It's just so easy to go in there right through the interface and just blip, blip, I'll grab one real quick, grab another one.
Yeah. Well, this week, actually it's been 2 weeks now, Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft, released their new, I guess, expansion pack called Curse of Naxxramas. I'm pushing all the wrong fucking buttons.
It's like you've never used it before.
I don't know what
You're just clicking around. It's like watching my grandma try to watch a video through email.
What's going on
just click,
here?
click, 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 click. No, you only have to click it once. No, now you're just dragging the icon. No.
I have 12 windows up now. Is that okay?
You don't click and hold. No. You have 8 search bars.
So, for those of you who don't know, Naxxramas was a raid in the World of Warcraft game. And it had several different wings to it.
Naxxramas?
Yeah, Naxxramas. Naxxramas. So the adventure that they released for Hearthstone is called Curse of Naxxramas, as kind of an ode to that. The Lich Kel-Thazad awaits within, along with 14 other deadly bosses, to challenge your skills. Defeat the bosses to earn unique Naxxramas cards. So there are 5 wings, and they release each week. And up until early September, you can get the first wing completely free. So the game is free, and you can get the first wing for free. After that, every other quarter is 700 gold or $6.99 to buy, or you can just buy them all outright for, I think it was $24.99. and then as they release, they just open for you. You don't have to pay extra or anything.
Yeah, so that's like $10 you're saving.
Yeah, something like that. And I tell you what, man, this new wing is tough. It is tough to beat, even on the normal modes. The Arachnid Quarter, there are 3 bosses in that. A Nubricon, which is one of the Spider Lords, Grand Widow Frelina, and Mexna, who is also another of the Spider Lords. And each one have a new hero power. A Nubricon's is Skitter, and he summons a 3/1 Nerubian for 2 mana. Grand Widow Frelina fires a missile for each card in the opponent's hand. So if you have 12 cards, she will fire a missile randomly that can hit anything on the board.
For 12 or 12 1-damage missiles?
Yeah, each missile is 1 damage. So if you have 12 cards in your hand, that's 12 damage going out total. Each
split
one
up, okay.
Split up, right. But, it can definitely be powerful in cards that where you're sitting and waiting with a bunch of cards in your hand. Mm-hmm. But it also hits her minions or her as well. So, it's a massive board fuck.
Yeah.
Especially early on in that game, it can be pretty devastating.
I've seen a lot of people online making comparisons between Hearthstone and Magic the Gathering lately. Right. And I played some Hearthstone, and I can see there's definitely some similarities. But when you're doing a card game that's one-on-one battle like that, summoning shit, there's going to be similarities,
Right.
But Wizards of the Coast is, in a lot of people's eyes, fucking up a lot. With Duels of the Planeswalkers, a lot of people were really, really mad about it. Magic the Gathering Online, which is like their big online thing where you can play in actual tournaments. You have to pay for it. You pay real money for packs of cards.
Okay.
You unlock them online, and then you can trade out your online cards for real copies that they'll send to you.
Huh.
But they launched a new... I don't play it. I don't really want to drop the money on it, and I know I would if I got into it.
Right.
But they changed the interface, and a lot of people are really unhappy with it. I've seen a lot of upheaval in the Magic community of people just like, I don't know what they're doing. It's just a money grab, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Which, it's a company,
Yeah, they're going to make their money somehow.
Yeah, it doesn't really affect me, so it doesn't bother me, because it's kind of one of those, meh, whatever, doesn't bother me. But,
yeah, exactly. That's one thing that people just love to bitch about that stuff. They are a company. They have to make some money. Mm-hmm. They can't just give their shit out for free.
Well, the major thing...
There's a lot of money that goes into art design and card and rule design and things of that nature that they have to pay people for.
Well, Wizards of the Coast is owned by Hasbro.
Right.
Hasbro is not hurting for money.
No, that's true.
They still have to make business, or make money, obviously. They're a business, but... Yeah. One of the big complaints that I've seen with Duels of the Planeswalkers is when you pre-ordered it, you could pre-order it for $10, or you could get the complete bundles, what they called it, for $35.
Okay.
So a lot of people dropped the $35, and then when they got the game and got the complete bundle, what Wizards never said was the complete bundle gives you all the cards you can unlock in the normal game, but you still don't have any of the premium cards. So a lot of people were pissed because they were like, I dropped $35 and I still have to pay $2 more per pack to unlock the premium stuff. That's not complete. You called it a complete bundle and said it unlocked everything.
Right.
So that's where a lot of people's contention with it comes from.
Yeah, I can see being a little miffed about that.
Well, especially if you didn't say it, I can understand that they should have said more explicitly.
Yeah, I agree.
I had an issue...
Because, a premium card, generally means that you will pay more for something.
Yeah. But when you're paying...
As a rule. So, even in the instance of a complete pack, that would not necessarily include premium content.
Yeah.
But they should have clarified.
They called it the complete bundle,
right.
Right. So, I had an issue when I installed the new one. If you have Duels of the Planeswalkers 2014, which I have, you get a free premium pack after you beat the first little section. So I beat it, I don't get my premium pack.
Right.
So I look online and I see a lot of people saying it, and they were saying the only thing we all have in common is we downloaded the demo first, which is what I did. So I messaged Wizards of the Coast support, and I said, it's not a huge deal. Free stuff's always good, but I know you're just giving it as kind of an extra incentive. Is there any way I can get this pack? And the person who replied was super nice, but their advice was uninstall Duels of the Planeswalkers 2015.
Okay.
which would wipe all my game data.
Right.
I had probably like 7 hours in at that point, had decks, stuff unlocked, would wipe all of that, reinstall it. If that didn't work, uninstall 2014, which would wipe all of my data, reinstall that, and then if that didn't work, get back to him.
Huh.
So I didn't do it. I mean, you know, it's $2 pack. I could just buy it really if I wanted to, but
Right.
it was just the fact that their whole suggestion was just like, yeah, you're just going to have to wipe the game and delete it and stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wasn't that irritated again because it's $2 and it's like an extra thing. They don't have to give me that, you know. It's not expected, so. But.
Yeah. With the release of Curse of Nax, the second wing that came out this past week, they were having a little bit of problems with people were waiting to buy the second wing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was right there with them.
Did you buy it?
At 3 o'clock in the morning, it became available, and I started clicking the buy button. And there were a couple of times where, it hadn't completely uploaded to their servers or however they're doing it.
Yeah.
It hadn't completely gone live yet, so I had the option to buy, but it wouldn't let me.
Well, and it's like any time something major and popular like that is released, the first day is just gonna not work for most people, you know? And everybody's trying to get it at once.
And, of course, there were problems where people were doing the same thing I was doing, but their gold actually went through, and they didn't get the wing.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So, I think it happened in some of the, maybe the Eurasian sections or the not the Eurasian, the Latin sections. I think they weren't getting the packs even though they were buying them.
Dios mío!
And Blizzard fixed it, and they're one thing Blizzard is really good about it is listening to their fan base and then trying their damnedest to make it right, despite the fact that their fan base can be a lot of bitchy little fucks.
Yeah, they have good customer service. When I had to go through them to get my Blizzard account or whatever, Battle.net.
Yeah, your Battle.net
where
account.
I'd forgotten it. You were over there with me when I was chatting with the live person.
Yeah.
And they were friendly and helpful.
Yep. They're especially since, it used to be you'd have to wait on the phone for fucking ever to get their tech support. So when it was very recently that they released the online support.
Yeah.
And they like I said, they do their best to get you happy. They don't want to lose you as a customer.
Yeah, I've done online support for a couple different places. I just love how it's moved to online support. I mean, there should still be a phone number there so you can talk to a real person, but the fact that it can pop up and you can jump in a chat with someone there, I love that.
There are some days where I would prefer to talk on the phone with somebody, and there are some days where I'm like, okay, I'll just do a quick chat.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of times, if I'm doing something more important, like car insurance or something of that nature, I'd prefer to speak to a customer service representative.
Yeah.
So yeah, Blizzard got that problem fixed fairly quickly. So,
did you buy the second wing?
Yeah, I saved up my gold and
oh, you bought it with gold, not cash.
I bought it with gold. Yeah.
I'm
trying to make sure that I save at least a small amount of cash so we can start getting the website and the hosting service for the podcast. So
yeah,
trying to save up what little bit I can whenever I can to get that ball rolling.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to donate, you can totally donate to us. It's just shameless fucking plug. I don't care.
God.
I don't care.
Who the fuck's going to donate to us?
People who like us.
We do have, 20, 25, somewhere in there, listens
We
a week?
We average about 20 listens or so. I know 3 of them tend to be me.
Mm-hmm.
I know you listen at least once.
Yeah, I listen to some of it. I don't like going through and listening to the whole thing, though.
Right.
I mean, some of them I do. It's just weird. Like, I just hear all kinds of little, I should have said this there. Or, that was stupid. Why did I say that? I get that a lot.
There are occasions, and this maybe doesn't speak well for us, but I'll throw it on while I'm going to bed.
And you get bored and turn it off?
No, I just go to sleep to it.
Oh.
It's not that it's boring. It's just that I'm usually tired.
Dueling Ogres, putting people to sleep since 1946.
Yes.
When my great pappy podcasted.
Way back in the early days of the internet when it was just...
Back when podcasting was just screaming into a bean can.
Screaming into a bean can.
Which isn't too far off from what we're doing right now, actually.
That's true. It's a very high-tech bean can.
You know, I saw somebody post...
I had to punch a hole with a string through it. Run a string through it.
There were knots everywhere. I saw someone post on Facebook and asked, like, hey, does anybody here have a podcast? And, like, 10 people commented with links to their podcasts.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And somebody, not locally, this is a podcast Facebook page that I like.
Yeah.
And somebody commented and said, of course that many people have a podcast. Podcasts are like the narcissist blog. Do you think that's true? I mean, I clearly love to hear myself talk. I talk all the time. Is that what it is? Are we just kind of screaming our thoughts out into nothing? I mean, I know we have people listen. I'm not speaking to that specifically. But is that what this does for us?
I like it because it gives me a chance to spend time with you and talk. It's something that we just don't get to do very much, and now we have a reason to do it.
Yeah.
You know, where we feel like if we don't
words
do
are
it,
tough.
yeah, if we don't do it, we feel like we're maybe letting ourselves down or letting down our listeners, or
Yeah.
There's a certain responsibility involved to it.
Yeah, it is cool that we have listeners. I mean, we're getting off on such a tangent here. I like that we have listeners. And, we would do this, obviously, even if nobody was listening.
Yeah.
It's nice that people do listen. Even if it is a handful right now.
Yeah.
It is nice that people listen. But, I don't know. I enjoy doing this. It makes me feel good.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, it gives us some sort of purpose outside of, I spend 40 hours a week fucking working.
Yeah. Well, I already have a purpose. My house in Minecraft is badass.
You have a cathedral of a home.
No, it's all utility.
Ah.
But it's good. I got a little witch's garden going.
Yeah.
Got a little underground garden.
Mm-hmm. To grow your shrooms.
I'm doing pretty well for myself.
In Minecraft. Not in real life, but in Minecraft.
Yeah, my real life is in shambles, but Minecraft, I'm badass. Except I keep getting fucking killed by mantises.
Fucking mantis.
So even in Minecraft, my life is falling apart. I just lost all of my armor right before I came over here.
Aw. Bree's gonna listen. She's like, oh.
She's like, what?
Is his life really that bad?
But my skin in Minecraft is Boba Fett. So.
There you go. That makes everything better.
It really does. Alright, anything else to say on Hearthstone?
Not really. The bosses are hard. There are 3 different...
Yeah, I'm probably going to go home, maybe not tonight, but at some point, and check it out. Check out the first one while it's free.
Yeah, they have 3 different... there's the normal mode, there is a heroic mode, which is really difficult, and then there are class challenges in which they give you... It's a pre-constructed deck that you go up against it. And in order to unlock it, you have to beat the normal mode. So once you beat the normal mode, I think that unlocks the class challenges, and once you beat the class challenges, it unlocks the heroic mode.
Okay.
So, it's all very gated. But, you can complete it fairly quickly if you've got a good deck. And the normal mode is not unbeatably difficult. I beat all 3 bosses relatively quickly with the decks that I had. There was only one where I had to replay it twice, but I got through them fairly quickly. And the class challenge modes are really interesting because you go into it with a deck that they've pre-constructed to do the class challenge with.
Okay.
So that was a lot of fun because you have to kind of think on your feet and play with a deck that you're not used to.
So check it out is what you're saying?
Yeah, definitely check it out. Especially since it's free right now. So, Hearthstone is free anyway. And granted, you'll have to play through all of the heroes and unlock them and stuff. So if you haven't picked it up yet, you'll have a little bit of work to do. Mm-hmm. But it's definitely fun and addictive.
Because anybody listening who already plays Hearthstone is already playing this.
Right. But if you haven't had a chance to pick it up, it's an online card game. So.
Yeah, it is fun.
And it's free.
I killed a lot of time with it. I don't play it anymore, but...
Yeah. But you will if you get into it and you just start playing it, you'll get a little discouraged because everybody's unlocked a lot of their cards now who are serious about the game.
Yeah, playing casual. I played in ranked and got so irritated because I'd be skimming through like, I'm doing pretty well, I'm beating a lot of people, and then just hit a run where I'm just getting stomped.
Yeah, and that'll even happen in casual when the RNG just hates you that day.
Oh, and in casual, it's not so bad. In ranked, you have that little number of where you are, and it keeps going up.
Yeah.
It goes down as you get better and up as you get worse. Right. And my number, I'd get down to like, oh, I'm at 19. I've never been to 19. And then get rocketed back up to 21 and like 6 losses in a row.
Yeah.
It was just disgusting.
Yeah. Well, you can't lose past 20, so.
Oh, can you not?
Right. So anything up to rank 20, you don't even if you lose the game, you don't lose stars. You don't lose ranks. But once you get to 20, if you get past 20, you'll lose your ranks and get evened out.
I think I got to 17 was the lowest I ever got. And
I think
it was just, at 17, it was just impossible.
Yeah.
I would go to 18, win enough to maybe get down to 17, and then just every time.
I was about the same. I think 18 is as low as I've gotten. So yeah, that covers about everything in Hearthstone.
Yeah. San Diego Comicon news. There's a lot of it. I picked some of the, bits and pieces of stuff I found interesting or stuff you might find interesting. But
Okay.
I mean, this doesn't even begin to cover all of the stuff that was announced or shown. I didn't really cover any video games. I got a couple. I know there were some video game announcements. There's a new Halo game coming out, and they showed like a trailer for it now.
Oh, okay.
Destiny, I'll talk about that.
Oh, that's right, because you played the beta?
The beta, yeah. No, Halo something or other. I saw a link. I was reading some news, like, making sure I didn't miss anything good. I saw a link to the trailer for a new Halo before I came over, but I didn't watch it.
Okay.
I'm not a big Halo person.
Right.
I'll go ahead in with the first news is Marvel,
Okay.
who is, like, the powerhouse right now.
The powerhouse in the film industry?
Yeah, disgusting. Yeah. They announced their release dates for their movies coming out.
Okay.
Not only did they announce release dates for movies coming out, they announced release dates for movies they haven't even given us the title for yet.
Okay.
So, like, Age of Ultron, May 1st,
right.
next year. Ant-Man, July 17th of next year. Captain America 3, May 6th, 2016. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, July 28th, 2017. And then they have, in 2017, May 5th and November 3rd, unnamed. 2018, May 4th, July 6th, unnamed movies.
Wow.
I mean, that's so ballsy, right?
Yeah, it really is.
To just, like, we're planting our flag right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, just the way the world works, it's eventually going to come to an end, right? I mean, superhero movies are super popular. People are going to see them. But eventually they're going to hit a string of, like, 2 movies that are just like, they're not that great. They're not holding up anymore.
Yeah.
And then people are just going to start getting sick of them. And the monies are, or I wouldn't say the movies are going to lose money, but they're going to slowly start to lose how many people are going to see them,
Yeah. I mean, it's just that niche of social things that are popular at the time.
Yes, social things.
The social that is the...
Is that the literal term for it?
The technical, yes.
The social things.
Yeah.
One of these is a Doctor Strange movie.
Apparently my brain is stupid today.
They didn't say which date it was, but one of them is Doctor Strange, which... I don't know how many people are going to give a shit about Doctor Strange.
Yeah, well, I don't know how many people are going to give a shit about Ant-Man.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are saying Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, who the hell are they? Who's going to give a shit? And Guardians of the Galaxy is killing it.
Yeah, it is fucking
right
blowing the shit up right now.
So, I mean, I want to see it. I haven't seen it yet, but I really do want to see it.
I want to see it, too. I've heard a lot of good things about it. Of course, I mean, it's got Vin Diesel in it, so...
Well, his voice.
Yeah, his voice.
And
I am Groot.
Yeah, that's all Groot says, too, so...
But that's good enough for me.
I can't remember
I don't know why I love Vin Diesel so much.
Where it was, it might have been at Comic-Con, but he said that he recorded 800 different versions of I Am Groot for them to use, like, weeks in the studio recording himself saying I Am Groot in different, like, inflections and tones and whatnot.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome.
And he showed up at the premiere on those stilts.
Oh, the things where you can, like, hop around and do flips and shit?
Yeah.
Those things look awesome.
Yeah, he showed up at one of the premieres on those stilts. So he's just... I mean, Vin Diesel's not... I don't think he's particularly short. I know he's not super tall, but he's not short.
Uh-huh.
And, I mean, he's just towering above everybody, and it's hilarious. I like it.
The most interesting thing... Well, going back real quick to Ant-Man.
Uh-huh.
That's one of those things that I think is going to be a hard sell.
Yeah.
I mean, right off the bat, his name,
yeah,
Ant-Man, you just hear it and you're like... Ugh.
Yeah, the Pyms.
Well, it's Paul Rudd is playing Ant-Man. Paul Rudd is not playing Hank Pym.
Oh, okay.
He's playing... I don't know the story. Hank Pym is in the movie being played by Michael Douglas.
Okay.
I mean, Michael Douglas is, like, old, right? Like,
yeah,
pretty damn old.
He's an older fellow. He's
playing Scott Lang, Paul Rudd is.
Okay.
And I know nothing about Ant-Man. I don't know. From what I've seen online, I think Scott Lang, like, was the next iteration of Ant-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, I don't know. Michael Douglas, maybe as Hank Pym, creates it, used to be Ant-Man, or creates it and they just don't even put in the fact that he's actually Ant-Man. I don't know, but...
Huh. I don't know a whole lot about Doctor Strange, but I think that might be more interesting than Ant-Man.
Doctor Strange? That would be cool. Especially if they... Because Marvel movies so far have not been doing any magic at all.
Yeah.
Like the Thor stuff, you know, they even explain it as like, what looks like magic to you is technology on our world.
Right.
So, I really hope that with Doctor Strange, it's not like, I got injected with nanobots that control electricity. I really hope that it's straight up like fucking sorcery, demons, that kind of stuff floating, you know.
Yeah.
Over Doctor Strange, I would love to see a Dr. Orpheus movie. That would be awesome.
Dr. Orpheus.
Venture Brothers.
Okay.
Order of the Triad.
That's what I thought you were...
I mean, Dr. Orpheus is very clearly a...
Doctor Strange ripoff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or homage, I guess we should say. An homage.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's a ripoff. It's an homage.
What's interesting, though, going back to these movies, too, is that Age of Ultron comes out May 1st.
Dr. Venture! Sorry.
Ant-Man comes out July 17th. In the comics, Hank Pym created Ultron.
Okay.
In the movies, they've already said, I don't know if they've said specifically where Ultron comes from, but they have said it doesn't come from Ant-Man. It doesn't come from Hank Pym. So it's interesting that they chose to do an Ant-Man movie, they chose to do an Ultron movie, and didn't connect them in some way.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe when
They
Age of
probably
Ultron
will.
comes out, Michael Douglas will be in it as Hank Pym, like, oh, I can't believe it. I don't know what Michael Douglas sounds like.
You just assume that he's...
Yeah, you found my Ultron. Oh, I'm an ant now.
Well, in the Ultimate Avengers, I mean, the Pyms were part of the Avenger Initiative, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was he played Ant-Man, and his wife was...
The Wasp.
The Wasp. I remember one section of one of the comics, Captain America beating the ever-loving shit out of
Ant-Man, yeah. Because Ant-Man in the Ultimates is an alcoholic.
Yeah, he's an alcoholic.
And he put the Wasp in the hospital.
Yeah.
He was, like, going to attack her, and she shrunk.
Yeah.
So he shrunk too and, like, sicked his ants on her and, like, basically beat the shit out of her. So, yeah, Captain America fights him. It was an awesome scene.
Yeah, that was... I remember him, like...
Because Ant-Man grows really big, and Captain America grabs his finger and just swings him into a building.
Yeah, that was really awesome. I was like, oh man, that is fucking brutal. Way to go, Cap.
So I'm hoping that they show Ant-Man in Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm hoping it's not just a throwaway. They would have to, right?
Well, yeah, they'd have to. They're doing a really, really good job at tying the properties together.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't imagine they could just do an Age of Ultron, like, just a little nod, like Michael Douglas there, like, hello, guys.
I'm sure they will.
But to have, like, a straight up, maybe him as Ant-Man show up for 5 minutes or something.
Right.
I just don't see... I mean, Marvel can do no wrong right now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I can't imagine people being like, oh man, I'm stoked about that fucking Ant-Man movie.
Well, I'm sure Ant-Man has his own fans out there.
Yeah, but I mean, how many really?
Yeah.
And I mean, prove me wrong, and they probably will. Like Iron Man, very few people gave a shit about Iron Man.
Yeah.
And now he's one of the most popular characters Marvel has.
Yeah. The voice of Ultron is James Spader.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. I watched a panel with all of them up there for, I think it was San Diego Comicon, and they had all the actors up, and I think it was Chris Hardwick was the moderator asking the questions, and James Spader was like, he said something to the effect of, I thought I had seen some weird and wild stuff through my life, but being involved in a comic book movie and coming to Comic-Con, you all are the weirdest and wildest people I have ever met.
And I bet he got a giant cheer for that, too.
Oh, I'm sure he did, yeah. Or he did.
I mean, saying something like that is the equivalent of being in a band playing in Cleveland going, Cleveland, you're the best audience we've ever had! You know,
Right,
that's kind of the equivalent.
It's very true.
Something with also the release dates, I found this interesting. Captain America 3, May 6th. 2016. Do you know what also releases on May 6th, 2016?
What?
Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice.
Nice.
I can't remember who announced it first, Marvel or DC, but this is, at this point, a game of chicken.
Yeah.
I think Marvel announced it first, and then DC announced they were going to use that date. probably expecting them to move Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, I don't know a whole lot about movies, but I know that release dates that far ahead get changed a lot.
Yeah.
So the fact that Marvel is sticking with it and saying, fuck it, we'll beat Batman versus Superman, is just amazing.
Yeah, they're pulling a page from video games.
And I mean,
right
with
there.
a Captain America 3 also. I mean, I know the Captain America movie, I know all the Marvel movies are popular.
Yeah.
Captain America included. I haven't seen Winter Soldier yet. That's another one I'd like to see. I'm such a bad geek. But yeah, which one would you go see, you think?
Of
the two of them.
Probably the Marvel one.
Over Batman versus Superman?
I mean, it's like you said, the Marvel movie company cannot do any wrong right now.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier was hugely successful.
I mean, I love Marvel. I'm not a DC person at all. If I could only see one, I would go see Batman vs. Superman. Hands down, not even a question. Even if they released a trailer tomorrow for Captain America 3, where Captain America stands and just jerks off on his shield for 4.5 hours, I would still see Batman vs. Superman. And it would take very few things that wouldn't make me go see that.
Right.
4.5 hours of him in his Captain America suit, just with crotch cut out, just jerking off onto his shield. Star Spangled Banner playing in the background.
Like,
occasionally a bald eagle screeches.
See, that doesn't strike me as something I'd want to watch, period.
Not even for the novelty?
No.
Not even to say, I love Marvel movies so much.
No.
You got me.
No, there's nothing interesting about that. Can you imagine the chafing after like an hour and a half? I mean, at that
especially
point...
because he's wearing, like those leather gloves.
Yeah. I mean, that shit would dry out.
He's looking straight into the camera. It's in 3D, IMAX.
No, that doesn't sound interesting to me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Batman. As far as DC characters goes, he's easily my favorite character. But, number one, well, it'll be Affleck Batman.
Yeah.
Which I don't really have a problem with. Affleck can be a really good actor when he...
I find Ben Affleck insufferable. I just can't. I know this might come as a shock to our listening audience that I dislike an actor, but I just Ben Affleck. I don't know. I don't like him in most stuff I've seen. I first saw him in Kevin Smith movies than before anything else in Mallrats and Chasing Amy, and I love Chasing Amy.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck is the worst part of that movie. He just has he has this smug look to him that he has in enough of his characters to make me think that that's kind of what he's like in real life, you know?
Right.
But I still think in the Batman suit he looks awesome.
Yeah,
I
have not seen any pictures.
You haven't seen the picture?
No.
They released a picture 4 or 5 months ago of him in the suit.
I remember seeing the stuff for the Batmobile, the new Batmobile. And
no, it's like an image of him in the suit, kind of turned sideways with some snow falling lightly or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And they're doing they're making him look more grizzled, which is cool. It's not going to be at least what it looks like so far, it's not like, hey, I'm Bruce Wayne. Oh shit, a bat, let's put on this costume.
Right.
They're making it look like he's been Batman for a while.
Uh-huh.
And his costume looks a lot like the Dark Knight Returns Batman costume.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
With a big old bat on it.
And kind of the short, fat ears.
Yeah. Which I didn't like that suit design, really. But I understand it, I guess.
Did you see Dark Knight Returns? Or have you read Dark Knight Returns or watched the cartoon?
No. During the 75th anniversary, there was a infographic of all the bat suits and its progression over the years, over the 75 years. And I mean, it was really interesting to look at, but I don't know, that big bat, that big fat bat on there is just, I don't know, I just don't like the design. That's all there is.
Well, Dark Knight Returns, if you haven't, I know you're not a big comic reader, but they did a 3-hour Dark Knight Returns movie based on the comic that is so good. It's such a dark comic. It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, Superman, the last Superman movie, I don't remember what it was called. Superman does stuff.
Superman saves Lois
Superman. Lane. What about that guy?
Yeah.
Hey, look, it's Superman, TM. But it was just miserable. Did you see it?
No.
I mean,
I've never been a Superman fan.
Oh, I'm not either. But we had for 3 weeks HBO Go on our Xbox.
Right.
And it was on there. So I was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to watch it. And I sat down. I'm not a Superman person. Going in, I was like, I have no interest in this movie. I don't give a shit. It's about how he becomes Superman. Big fucking shocker. Superman's been around since 1910 or however long. Yeah, that's a little early. But however long he's been along.
Yeah.
Everybody knows he's a fucking alien. You could ask anybody, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Superman." Ask Michael Douglas. Superman. He's an alien.
From my understanding.
He's one of those Mars men.
Sorry, Michael Douglas.
Cut to Michael Douglas, sipping coffee, listening. We start making fun of him.
I sound nothing like
shatters his cup of coffee. Isn't Michael Douglas British? Is he British? I don't know. He's married to Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yeah.
So that's
and he's
cool.
not British.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I mean, his name is Michael Douglas. You can't get much more British than that.
He's not British.
Sir Michael Douglasington. But no, the Superman movie was not good. Maybe if I'd been a fan of Superman, I might have enjoyed it a little more. But
yeah,
it's just like, it's his backstory. He meets Lois Lane. She's like, Lois Lane is a strong character in the comics, like a strong female character. Like early Lois Lane, not so much. She's very much like, save me, Superman.
Right.
But as it's progressed, she's become more of a like, I know that you're Superman, I'm still going to do this shit on my own. Which is cool. But
and you can just save my ass when I get it into deep shit.
I felt like in the movie they overplayed that a little bit. And the actress wasn't bad, but they just kind of pushed more, like, to the point where she's an obnoxious character,
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of complaints with the movie about the amount of destruction that happens in Metropolis that Superman causes. And I watched it almost for that. And I went in and I tried to wipe my mind and say, let's sit down and let's just check it out. No, it didn't even hold my attention.
Yeah.
I'm watching it through surround sound. Shit's exploding behind me, and I still ended up getting on Facebook.
Michael Douglas is from New Jersey, by the way.
New Jersey, London?
Yes. He is...
I'm from New Jersey.
He is 69 years old.
It was Michael Douglas cast.
Yeah.
He's actually next in line to play Wolverine.
No,
in the eventual X-Men reboot.
No, he isn't. Going back to Affleck real quick, just as an aside, where you said that he kind of ruined, or he was the worst part of Chasing Amy for you, I think he was the best part of Daredevil.
Yeah, I did like him in Daredevil.
I really liked that.
I thought Daredevil wasn't a bad movie. I didn't think it was a great movie. I've watched it once, and I've really had no interest in rewatching it.
Yeah.
But
I've watched it 2 or 3 different times, and I think he did a really good job.
Is the movie bad? Does it hold up as like an okay? Is it like... Is the best thing you could say about it is like, it's alright.
Yeah. I really
like what your sexual partners, how they would describe sex with you. Just like...
I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it personally, but I can see why it got so much flack.
Well, didn't a lot of people say Jennifer Garner ruined it as Elektra?
Yeah. Well, that's my personal impression of it.
Yeah.
But her and Colin Farrell as...
Bullseye.
Bullseye, thank you. My head was going to Hawkeye, and I knew that it wasn't right. And I just couldn't put the bull in front of the eye.
I like Daredevil. I'm not like giant. I haven't really read very much of Daredevil, but I'm really excited about the Netflix series that's coming out.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's coming out this year. It might be, actually, though.
DC's pulling out a Flash one as well. That looks really interesting.
I haven't seen it yet. I've heard the pilot. I listened to a podcast where the guys are like TV reviewers, and one of them saw the pilot of The Flash and said it's good.
Yeah.
Their impression of it was, nothing makes better podcast listening than me referencing other podcasts.
Right.
That are better than us.
Right. that are better and more established.
I'm not going to name it. Said that it looks good, but he's not sure if they're going to be able to keep it up.
Yeah.
Because normally pilot episodes are like all the stops because it's the pilot.
Right.
They're like, shove everything in, use all our money.
And it's on the WB. That's one of the main reasons why I didn't watch Arrow. It's because it's on the WB.
I started to watch Arrow, and I couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
I like Green Arrow. But Batman, Superman, though. You just don't think it's going to be that exciting? I mean, they're not going to be fighting the whole thing, obviously. They're going to do what every comic book ever has done. They meet, they fight, they combine to fight a major force. And Wonder Woman's in it, too.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people are thinking that they're building up for a Justice League movie, which would be awesome also.
Yeah. I agree. I think DC moves a little slower than Marvel does.
Oh, no, they absolutely. They completely dropped the ball. Like, it's almost baffling the fact that they haven't
stepped up,
pushed for a Wonder Woman movie, that they're kind of taking their time, like, just now starting to do what Marvel's been doing for years now.
Yeah.
Marvel Studios and Sony with the Spider-Man movies that aren't hugely popular but are still making enough money to warrant them making more.
Yeah.
There's also been talk that the guy who plays Green Arrow in Arrow and the guy who plays Flash in the TV show are going to be in the Justice League movie.
Oh, yeah.
Which would be an interesting way to introduce them. If they do Batman versus Superman, throw in Wonder Woman, and then say, hey, Arrow from that show, he's going to be in the Justice League movie. And hey, Flash from that show that you're probably not watching, he's going to be in the Justice League too.
I think I've seen a couple of referencing the Wonder Woman where they have her outfit compared to Xena, Warrior Princess, and the outfit is almost a spot-on replica of it, which is really interesting.
In the picture I saw, she's holding a sword.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know a whole lot about Wonder Woman, but I don't remember her using a sword.
No,
I mean, it makes sense if she's an
lasso.
Amazonian and stuff. Yeah, what do you think the chances are she's going to use a magic lasso in that movie? I would say next to zero.
Or an invisible jet.
That would be hilarious.
I'd love it.
They could save on special effects there, too.
Yeah, they really could.
Just like, where'd Wonder Woman go? Oh, you didn't see her? Invisible jet, man.
Yeah, totally.
Here's my prediction now.
Okay.
Wonder Woman, not going to have the lasso of truth. But there's going to be a scene in the movie where somebody's running away. She's got to stop them. She looks around. There's a yellow piece of rope hanging from a banner or in a dumpster or something. She's going to grab it and lasso him with that.
Right.
As like a little nod.
I'll give
because from what it seems like, at least with the Superman movie I saw so far, which I'm pretty sure the Superman movie is like the beginning of what they're trying to do, how Marvel connected, Iron Man and Avengers and etc.
Yeah.
They're going for a grittier look to everything.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I just don't imagine she's going to be whipping out a glowing yellow thing. Like,
Yeah,
it makes them
I
tell
doubt
the
it.
truth when I catch them with it.
Right, I doubt it.
All right, what else do we have here? As far as other movies go, I guess I'll stick on that. The only one that really stuck, or no, I have two. Mad Max Fury Road.
Right.
Have you seen Mad Max?
Yeah, I've seen... There were two, correct?
There was Mad Max and Return to Thunderdome or something with Tina Turner.
Yeah. I feel like maybe there was a third one, but I don't think there was. I don't know. I mean, I liked both of the first Mad Maxes. I don't think it's a property that really needs to be revamped.
I watched the trailer. It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Mad Max, though.
I'm sure it'll be good. That's one of those nostalgia movies that I'm just like, it's not necessary. That's like remaking Waterworld.
That's where I'd mentioned to you earlier we should do an episode on post-apocalyptic movies and stuff.
Yeah.
That's where I got the idea when I saw the Mad Max trailer. So,
Okay.
really, if you have anything to say about it, which you seem like you don't, save it. Because I think it'd be neat to do one. Because, I mean, I could talk forever about Fallout, which has so much inspiration from Mad Max.
Yeah.
And maybe we could sit down and watch the first Mad Max or something.
Sure.
Have you seen A Boy and His Dog?
No.
Okay, we might have to watch that too. It's
Okay.
pretty awesome. The other movie that stuck out to me was Tusk. Have you heard of that? It's Kevin Smith's new movie.
Uh-uh.
Oh my god, it looks so good.
Oh, yeah?
Okay, so quick rundown.
Okay.
There was a post
I think I've heard of it, but
on
that's all.
Craigslist somebody did as a joke.
Okay.
And the post was looking for somebody to move in and be a roommate with this person who had a very big house. They said the rent was free, the food was free, the only thing you had to do was, at least I think once a week, dress up in a walrus costume and pretend to be a walrus. Because the guy who owned the house was stranded on an island for like months and his only friend was a walrus. So, in the Craigslist ad, the guy also says, I've constructed a walrus suit. It's nothing sexual. I just need you to pretend to be a walrus once a week, or even once a month, I don't remember, and you can live here rent-free. It's a big house. So, Kevin Smith on one of his podcasts, Kevin Smith, not to go off on that, I love Kevin Smith movies. I love Kevin Smith. I listen to a lot of his podcasts. But he's like very openly a stoner now.
Yeah.
And it has just killed listening to it for me. And it's funny because we had a resident stoner on here last week. And especially now that I don't smoke weed anymore, talking to a stoner can just be so fucking tiring sometimes, or
Yeah.
listening to them talk, Just like, oh my god, shut up.
Yeah. Editing that was really tough.
Was there a lot you edited out? Because I listened to that part.
It wasn't that there was a lot that I edited out, but there was a lot that I just couldn't edit out because John was speaking so low and so fast, but he said, every other freaking word.
Really?
And I was like, go back and listen to it and count. You could make a drinking game about how many times John said, guys, I mean, when I'm talking about stuff and I'm talking really low, and I'm just talking about it real fast, and then things happen and I say, a lot.
I just loved how we got into a pretty decent conversation, and he sat here the entire time and listened to us.
Yeah.
And my point of that whole My Little Pony episode, the point I was trying to convey was yeah, it's super fucking weird, but what really isn't weird, you know? Like,
Yeah.
they do a lot of good, the weird stuff is really weird, but, like, they're just people, they're just enjoying shit, enjoying something they like just like anybody else. And I loved how that was the entire point of it. Then, like, the last 5 minutes, I asked John, like, so what do you think, John? Any closing thoughts? And he's like, I don't know, I just think it's fucking weird. That was it. It was so fantastic. But anyway, to get back on track.
Right.
Tusk, Kevin Smith, read this on his podcast, the Craigslist ad, super stoned, and started to joke about how it would be a funny movie.
Uh-huh.
He ended up taking that idea and, you know, because he's a giant filmmaker, got the funding, and now has this movie coming out. And it's coming out this year, I think September sometime.
Okay.
And it stars Justin Long, the Mac guy.
Yeah.
Michael Parks, who I didn't know from a bunch of stuff. He was in Red State. He's like a really old guy, though, so he might have been he had to have been in other movies.
Yeah.
Justin Long is a podcaster who travels around Canada, finds this Craigslist ad, goes to the guy's house who posts it. The guy drugs him, and then slowly starts to turn him into a walrus by, like, sewing his legs together. I'm not really sure what it does. The trailer is, like, super creepy looking.
Right.
So I'm excited for it. It looks like almost Human Centipede levels of fucked up.
Huh. Okay.
So, yeah, you can watch the trailer on YouTube. They released it at San Diego Comicon.
Yeah.
It's coming out in theaters. It's not like Red State that had a limited release.
Right.
That's it about as far as movies go. Star Wars Rebels, they announced. They've been talking about it for a little bit, but they full on announced when it's going to start and stuff. That's the Disney Star Wars cartoon.
Yeah.
That's the first, like, in-canon thing.
Yeah,
that they're doing now that they own
We were
it.
watching, I think, Phineas and Ferb or something, and they had a commercial for it, and I was like, oh.
And I know you're going to like this. The main character is voiced by Freddie Prinze Jr.
Oh, interesting. I do love me some Freddie Prinze Jr.
So it can make early 90s Remington super wet.
Yeah.
Takes place 14 years after Revenge of the Sith, 5 years before Episode 4. October 2014, hour special. I don't really watch the Star Wars cartoons. Clone Wars, I've heard it's good.
I really enjoyed it. I watched it every Saturday when it was playing on Cartoon Network.
And they have almost all of it on Netflix now, so
Yeah.
I can catch up at any point. I just really don't care to.
I really enjoyed it. I would sit down and watch a couple episodes.
As far as Adult Swim goes, Venture Brothers Season 6 was announced, which is awesome. Venture Brothers is an amazing cartoon.
It is, and I love it so much, and I hate the fact that it takes them so long to do it.
Oh, yeah, there's like years between them.
Yeah.
The Season 1 of the Venture Brothers was like early 2000.
Yeah, I think it was like 2002, maybe? Yeah, it was so... it takes so long, and I love it so much.
Well, in the way...
And then I end up missing it. They'll do the season, and I'll fucking miss it, and then I never get around to getting back.
Well, and the way they do it is they split it. So it's like they did this for Season 4 and 5. Season 4 is coming out. It's been 2 years since the last season. Here's half of Season 4. 5 months go by. Here's the second half of Season 4.
Yeah.
It's just irritating when you've waited that long. I'm sure there's reasons for it. I think they write it as they go.
Yeah.
Not like each episode, but, you know, I think they wrote half of the first season, let that run while they were working on the second season or whatever.
Right. I think Doc Hammer and
Jackson Public
keep a really tight rein on the creative property of it.
Which is good. I mean, if it takes...
it is good, but the timing suffers for it.
If it takes time for it to come out, though, and it continues to come out the same quality that it has, though, I'm fine with it. I mean, it sucks, but it's just... I've seen maybe 1 or 2 episodes that I don't like, and those tend to be in the first season when it was still that weird Flash animation style before they got to a more conventional.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the show is just... If you haven't watched The Venture Brothers, watch it. I mean, the first 2 seasons are on Netflix. Check them out. The rest of them you can buy or find or download or whatever you need to do. But it's such a great show.
Don't download it illegally, though.
It's such a great show. Also, I saw a trailer for another Adult Swim show, Mike Tyson Mysteries. Have you seen that?
What? No.
It's an old, there's a trailer for it. It's an old Scooby-Doo style animation show in, the vein of Scooby-Doo or, just any of those old mystery shows. Like, we've got the Harlem Globetrotters, and we're here to solve a mystery. In that style, starring Mike Tyson, who voices himself, and he solves mysteries. He solves mysteries with a British ghost and, a little Asian girl. And a talking pigeon. Because Mike Tyson raises pigeons. Like, in part of the trailer, you can look it up right now, Mike Tyson, I'm not saying you, but the listeners, Mike Tyson Mysteries, and watch the trailer. It's almost 3 minutes long.
Wow.
There's a talking pigeon that sounded like it was voiced by Norm Macdonald. But, like, at the beginning of the trailer,
Okay,
it's like Mike Tyson looking into the pigeon coop, and he's like, every one of these pigeons has a call for help from somebody in need. It looks ridiculous.
What is it, Mike Tyson?
Mike Tyson Mysteries.
Right.
Like, at one point, a guy says he got attacked by a chupacabra, and Mike Tyson's like, I know what I have to do. I have to find the chupa candy and punch the shit out of it. Because it's the only thing I've never punched. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
We're totally going to watch the trailer
All right
now. All right, listen up. Mike Tyson flying a jet.
From someone that needs help solving a mystery. Oh man, it's so dark. I can't see my hand in front of my face. Oh!
It's the chupacabra! He beat me with his mouth! Oh!
Michael, why are you smiling? Because now I know what I have to do. I'm gonna use my fist to beat the out of Chupacabra, the only thing I've never beaten the out of yet.
It looks good.
Haven't been sleeping well.
Why haven't you been sleeping well? It's because you're a ghost and you can see through your eyelids?
No, I just find I can't turn my brain off at the end of the day, I lie there worrying about the dumbest things. It's ridiculous, and the next day I'm tired and a bitch to everyone around me.
And I don't know how I feel about you going away to college.
Well, we have to talk about it at some point. I'm 18.
18? Where did the time go? I remember it like it was yesterday. You were just a little baby, but you told me, stop living for yourself.
Who is my mother, and why did she leave me on Mike Tyson's doorstep when I was a baby?
Probably because she didn't want you. There, mystery solved. What the heck is this?
Guys, do you remember what we're here for?
No.
The open bar. I can't go. I have an internet whore coming over tonight.
Oh, the second they see you're a pigeon, they're not going to have sex with you.
Yeah, every once in a while they do.
Ain't got no time for bird sex. I wanna fly.
Okay, that can't be a song.
Yeah, that was a song. Ain't got no time for bird sex, man. Yes, don't have no time for bird sex. Just tell me one more time. Oh,
Coming this fall on Adult Swim. Okay. Yeah, that looks... wow.
It looks ridiculous, right?
And yeah, that's totally Norm Macdonald.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, and it could be good. Adult Swim, like, I don't know, maybe I'm growing out of the demographic for it. Maybe I'm not like an early to mid-20s stoner.
Right.
But, I mean, they do have some good shows. But I kind of got tired. Adult Swim really hitched a lot of their stuff to Tim and Eric. And yeah. I don't find them that funny. Tom Goes to the Mayor was really good. Tim and Eric, awesome show. I haven't watched. I just have no interest in it.
It's like watching a train wreck.
It's just like random shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, is there even a semblance of a story, or is it just here's random stuff?
Sketches for the most part.
But like, isn't a lot of their humor just like looking at the camera and like spitting spaghetti on themselves and like making noises and yelling and?
Yeah, not my cup of tea.
I mean, if I still got stoned, I bet it would be hilarious. But as it stands, it's just like, I don't got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for Tim and Eric.
As Michael Douglas would say, I ain't got time for that. That's as far as shows go. Games, Walking Dead, Season 3.
Yeah.
The Walking Dead games are really good. Telltale makes them. They're like kind of choose your own adventure sort of games.
Uh-huh.
There's an overarching storyline, but you make choices. People can die along the way. So I play the game and I might have different outcomes than you do. Because there are certain points where it's like you can only save one of these characters.
Right.
And from then on, it continues. They're episodic games. They've announced Season 3. I have episode 4 of season 2 waiting for me at home. I just haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
Those are good. They did The Wolf Among Us, which is based off of the Fables comic.
Uh-huh.
It's really good, too. It's another one of those I'd suggest. And Destiny, game from Bungie.
Well, before you go off on that tangent, I just want to say Josh Brolin is Thanos.
Yeah. I don't really know Josh Brolin. I know him from No Country for Old Men.
He was in the Goonies. He was the older brother from the Goonies.
Yeah.
He played W in the
George W. Bush movie.
Yeah.
I did watch that, but I think I was really drunk when I watched it, so I don't really remember anything about it.
He's kind of gotten a cult following, it seems like. He also played Dwight McCarthy in Sin City.
Is he the guy that shows up on SNL all the time? Is that him?
I don't know. I don't watch SNL anymore, so... He's uncredited as Thanos in Guardians of the Galaxy, and during the SDC... I think it was the SDCC panel. They brought him up onto stage wearing the Infinity Gauntlet.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Avengers. Seeing Thanos, it's going to be cool.
Oh, that's right. He played the main character in Old Boy.
Did you see that?
The remake of the Japanese... It was
Korean,
Japanese,
I think.
Is it Korean?
Maybe it's Japanese. I don't know.
I can't remember.
Asian-y.
Asian flag. It was so good, too.
The remake or the original?
The original. I remember I haven't seen the remake, but I really want to.
I kept meaning to watch it on Netflix, and then when Old Boy came out in theaters, they pulled the original off of Netflix.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Now the new one is on Netflix to watch. I heard that the new one, or the remake, isn't as good as the original, so I want to see the original first and then judge from there.
Yeah, usually nothing's as good as the original, but...
Yeah. Alright, so Destiny Beta, game from Bungie, who made Halo and other things, I assume.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of research on Bungie. They did other things. Yeah, Destiny is like a first-person shooter. The beta was on 360. I don't know if it was also on Xbox One. I started playing it, did not like it at all. It's a straight-up first-person shooter, very, very similar to Halo.
Yeah.
So I'm playing it, I'm kind of running around. It's just boring. Like, literally, the way they introduce your character is the exact same way they introduce Master Chief. Somebody like, "You Guardian, are you there? Wake up! Move around, let me make sure you can look." You know, one of those things.
Yeah.
Just introducing the character to help you move and stuff is fine, but I mean, it's straight up how they introduce Master Chief.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, people who are playing games, especially first-person shooters, they don't need a walkthrough like that.
Yeah.
They don't.
So I start playing, and I'm running around on the first planet you start on, and I'm posting on Facebook as I do it, and I'm like, I'm playing Destiny Beta, and it is boring. It's just like Halo. Literally 10 minutes after I post that, I get to a ship that I fix. It launches me to my home planet, and suddenly the game switches to third person, like World of Warcraft style, and I'm in a giant hub world surrounded by other actual players and their characters running around.
Okay.
So you're on a hub world as an MMO. You pick up quests, you can interact with other people, you pick your class when you start the game. You have class-specific quests and armor. There's like the same, common, uncommon, and rare weapons and armor and stuff.
Right.
And the game just got awesome from there. I'm looking forward to it a lot.
Yeah.
You take you get your missions, you go back to Old Earth. I'm not even going to explain the story because, it's typical. Earth has been taken over by aliens. We got to fight back.
Right.
One of those things. But I went through, and it's basically, it puts you in instances. And I went on an instance on Earth, and I was just kind of soloing, because I didn't know anybody else, and I don't like playing with other people typically anyway.
Yeah.
And it threw one more person with me in this instant. And we got to a certain point and just kept dying over and over and over and over. And this person continued to play with me. It was just a really good experience. This person stuck with me. It was honestly like almost close to 2 hours it took us to run through this whole thing.
Wow.
And this person stuck with me the whole time.
That's cool.
And I mean, I'm sure I was irritating them because at certain parts it would pop up and it would be like, such and such, 354 kills for the thrill, which is me, 112 kills. So, I mean, I'm awful at these games.
Right.
But, yeah, they stuck with me. We fight the big bad boss, and then we beat it, and then as the loading screen comes up that it's taking you back to the planet, the person starts dancing at me, which is one of the interactions, and we start dancing back and forth that we beat it. It was just a neat experience,
That's cool.
And as it gets live and as more people play, I'm sure you're going to run into so many assholes.
Yeah.
But as it stood, I mean, it was a good time. I played it one day, went home the next day, and was like, oh, I'm super excited to play. Played it for about 10 minutes, went to get food or whatever, jumped back on like an hour later, beta had ended. So I only got to play it for a day. My fear is that it might get a little repetitive because the game itself did kind of get repetitive.
Yeah.
But I'm still probably going to buy it.
With any kind of MMO, I mean, you're going to have very similar quest lines and stuff. It's coming from a Blizzard background, a Warcraft background, there are a lot of quests that are, go collect some poop for us.
I didn't have any...
Blizzard loves those poop quests.
Seriously?
Oh my god. Yes.
I didn't have any straight up, like, go collect 10 of these and bring them back.
Yeah.
They can't really make an MMO without having something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, on a system, they probably mixed it up a little bit. On a PC game, you can see a lot more of that.
Actually, no, I had to like collect data from an alien.
Okay.
And I had to kill a specific kind of alien, and then it seemed like probably a 75% chance they would drop a bit of this data.
Okay.
So I kind of had to mine that. Most of the quests were like, start here, go there, kill the bad guy.
Right.
So that got a little repetitive. There's a neat surprise mission where you go to the moon, like Earth's moon, and run around. That was pretty cool. Yeah, it sucks that the beta's not going on anymore, because I can't recommend people try it out, because it's done, but it was a fun game.
Yeah, you told me you were going to have me jump on and try it out, but
yeah,
I don't even have my system set up yet.
And I know you don't have live right now, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, that looks good. I think September 9th is the date it comes out, so I'm hoping I can push for that for my birthday.
Right.
Last thing, they announced the new Magic the Gathering set coming out in September, Khans of Tarkir. It's a Mongolian-based world. The last one they just did, Theros, was based off of Greek mythology. This one's Mongolian.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty much it. I mean, I have a bunch of information about it, but you wouldn't understand half of what I'm talking about anymore, so that's pretty much it. Looks good.
Fair enough.
All right.
So we'll finish up with...
we petered out again.
We petered out, but we're going to finish with our closing segment of shout-outs.
Yeah.
People who have actually interacted with us. So if you want to shout out, go ahead and jump on our Facebook, leave us a comment, tell us how good or poorly we're doing, tell us how much you like or dislike the show, and you may get mentioned at the end of our podcast.
I wouldn't even say may. I would go so much as to say you absolutely will get mentioned.
Yeah, that way we don't peter out every fucking week.
Because nothing's more thrilling than us naming people they don't know.
Exactly. So go ahead with your shout out.
I'm not giving last names because I didn't tell these people I was giving a shout out. I don't imagine they would care, but I'd rather err on the side of safety.
Yeah.
So if you do comment and don't want your last name used, say that specifically. Otherwise, from now on,
or give us an online moniker that you go by.
Yeah. Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas.
Chris commented about the My Little Pony episode and asked us if Rainbow Bright and Care Bears had the same fan following as My Little Pony.
Right.
There's a resounding no there.
Yeah.
Although there should be. Care Bears. I mean, Care Bear porn? There's got to be Care Bear porn.
Oh, I'm sure. Care Bears. There's a lot. I don't know so much about Rainbow Bright. I remember I had the Rainbow Bright Christmas album, though. I think we had 2 different copies of that.
When I was like...
The vinyl. 8
years old, I had a crush on Rainbow Bright.
Oh, yeah?
There was one time, and I remember this specifically, in my room... This is embarrassing. I was like 8 years old.
Okay.
Just starting to get the tiny little hints of hormones.
Right. And
I cried to myself about how much of a crush I had on Rainbow Bright and how she was a cartoon character.
Nice.
Yeah. So, to Chris, no. As far as we know, there's not a following.
Right.
Jessica said... I want to read a little bit of this, because this cracks me up. I have to say, I only listened to this because I was fascinated by the thought of listening to 2 grown men discussing My Little Pony. And by fascinated, I mean in the way one is fascinated by a gory car wreck, and you just can't not look away. All I have to say is that I am shocked and appalled at your lack of praise for the wonderful cinematic wonder that was My Little Pony, the movie. I mean, there was the smooze. It was a fond memory from my childhood. I don't know what the smooze is.
I don't either.
I really, at this point, I'm surprised that I'm even mentioning My Little Pony after last week.
Yeah.
Just burn out on it.
Yeah.
Like I told her on the Facebook page, though, we might go back to it. I mean, if there's an actual want for us to sit down and torture ourselves to watch the My Little Ponies movie and then comment on it,
yeah,
we'll do it.
If you want us to suffer, by all means, go ahead and share that on the Facebook that you want us to watch the My Little Ponies movie. with Danny DeVito.
My favorite part is, you know, a comment is going to be good when it starts out with, I have to say, I only listen to this because blah, 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 blah.
Right.
I mean, is that a little backhanded? I'm not saying anything against Jessica, because it continued with, you know, movie and stuff, and she enjoyed it, but, like, does that start off a little backhanded?
I think she was just being coy.
I mean, that's like me bringing you a soda because you're thirsty.
Yeah.
And I give it to you and I say, I only brought you this because I know that you're fat and like soda. You know, there's very few things that are good that will come after I only did this because.
Right. And our final shout out.
Well, no, I have one more.
Oh, okay. Go
Sarah
ahead.
Beth.
Okay.
She just interacts with us. Didn't have a question or anything specifically, but she's interacted with us quite a bit.
Yep.
We appreciate it.
Yes, we do. And to finish off with Keisha Dietz, who...
She's helping us out a lot right now.
Yeah, she's trying to get the word out for the podcast. She is an admin for the Facebook page Nerdy Women. So facebook.com/Nerdy Women.
Why does it say fictional character under Nerdy Women?
When you choose Facebook stuff, like we are
A radio or something or other.
station.
Okay.
Yeah. So you just have to choose a particular thing. So they have 5,000 some almost 6,000 likes on
And
their
that's
page.
translated into at least one new person listening.
Right.
Which is good.
But she asked one of the admins to share us again to try and boost us, which is very, very much appreciated. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's definitely appreciated.
So thanks, Keisha, and thanks, Thunder.
Thunder.
Thunder is the admin who helped share us. And she also...
That's their Christian name, I assume,
Yes.
right?
And she is also the main admin for Schmomo News, which is a community, and she goes through and shares different news articles and stuff.
Go over there if you want to see more San Diego Comicon stuff, because during the Comic-Con, I mean, she was posting like a thing an hour or so.
Yeah. So there's a lot of news that she covers there, yeah.
Did she start that site?
She started
Is that
the
her?
Schmomo News, yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Why Schmomo? Do you know?
I don't know, I didn't ask.
Oh.
And totally used your last name, so sorry. But
Well, I mean, the page is her picture right there, you know, so
yeah.
I don't think it matters too much.
Yeah.
And didn't she say you could use her last name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there's Jason Momoa. I like him. He, sorry, tangent.
Yeah, okay. You just got distracted by the two shirtless men on that Facebook page there.
I've always liked, he
I
was,
like that guy.
He was in Stargate Atlantis, and I really, really enjoyed that series. And he also played Conan the Barbarian in the remake.
Mm-hmm.
So, and an interesting fact about him, he is married to one of the daughters from the Cosby Show.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they live... Well, he's of Hawaiian descent.
I don't think you know the definition of the word interesting, Remington.
Sorry. The interesting part is that they
All right,
don't...
speed it up, Grandpa.
They don't watch movies, they don't own a television, and things of that nature. I just find that interesting. An actor who doesn't...
Interesting thing. I
An
had
interesting
applesauce last night, but not the normal applesauce.
Buzz
it was
Killington.
flavored. So yeah, Facebook
Let me
page.
tell you about the holophoner.
Like us on the Facebook page if you haven't, which you probably have.
Yep.
But if not, like us. We appreciate it. Comment, interact. We don't really post a whole lot right now, but I'm on Facebook way more than a human should be. So anytime you post a question or a comment, Remington or I will get back to you.
Yep.
So.
And it will be confusing because we'll both be posting as Dueling Ogres.
Yeah.
So we try to put a
I put a B after mine.
yeah, he puts a B, I put a RAM after mine. So you should know most of the time who you're talking to. All right, thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you. We'll be back Wednesday.
Wednesday we should be back on schedule.
All right.
All right, thanks for listening.
Thanks.
Bye.